For me in the shad spawn, I do want that bait high in the water column. I'll generally go down to a 3/8 or maybe even a 5/16 swing head, and I'll keep it up pretty high in the water column, but I'll also let it fall into holes in the grass if there's any available, or if I'm throwing it around wood cover, I'll let that bait actually come over the wood and I'll let it drop before I start retrieving it again. But I generally want to keep it up because the shad are trying to be up around the surface. And that's just one of those scenarios where I want to keep the bait moving at a really quick pace, maybe not burning it across the surface, but I want to try to keep it in that top 5 or 6 inches. That leads us to another simple fact. When I'm doing that exact thing, I'm actually going to go to a heavier size line. That bigger diameter line is going to help me keep the bait up at a slower speed. So I'll go to a 22-pound shooter or something like that. Got another question?
Yeah, we do. So, Fluke Master, you got a question, buddy.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Good, man. How's it going this morning?
Good. I'm eating a little
Afternoon.
snack, so. But I got a quick question. What are the advantages of a swing head over like a Texas rig or a jig or anything else that's somewhat?
For me, it actually gives the bait a lot more movement. When that bait's falling through the water column, it's able to swing around and move quite a bit. It just makes the bait look a little bit different instead of your traditional straight down fall with a Texas rig. It just makes the bait a little bit more versatile, so to speak. What I like about it, and especially I'll take this and flip it in heavy cover as well. When that bait's falling, it can flop to either side once it hits bottom, where a Texas rig usually wants to stand straight up. I've seen crawfish on the bottom a lot of times, and when this bait falls, that actually lays down and looks a lot more natural, like a crawdad sitting on the bottom, instead of at an aggressive position like you would have with a jig or a Texas rig. For me, I do a lot of flipping with these. It's one of those times of year when I can't really penetrate the cover like I need to with the standard retrieve of throwing it out and reeling it across the bottom. I'll actually pick it up, put it on the same, I get a lot of the same actions out of the rod and reel because I can take the same rod and reel setup, I can flip it, I can go out and fish deep water with it and still get the backbone that I've got in the rod. The line is heavy enough that I can pull them out of some pretty substantial cover. But I literally don't have to pick up 2 different rods to go, if I'm fishing down a bank and I see a good lay down that I want to flip all around, I can take the swing head and just continue to flip it. Once I get done flipping that lay down, I'll pick it up and go ahead and start firing it down the bank until I get to the next lay down, or I get to a place where it's time to pick up and run to the next area that I'm wanting to fish.
And the information Bass University provides isn't your basic run-of-the-mill fishing video. This is specific information from A to Z to help you learn, get to the water, and become a better angler quickly.